A very good morning to Ms. Wai and my fellow classmates. The topic that we have chosen today for our documentary project is hunger. The main reason behind this is due to hunger being overlooked and overshadowed by many other issues in the world, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. Hunger could be further elaborated as physical discomfort as a result of chronic shortage of food. If severe, hunger could lead to our life being threatened. As for the majority of us, we only feel hungry but not hunger. Those who experience hunger undergo unimaginable suffering, unlike us, who mostly have food ready on our tables. According to World Food Programme (WFP), food insecurity have affected 135 million people across 55 countries in 2019, and one-third of the population suffers from malnutrition. As we dive deeper into this topic of discussion, hunger roots from several factors across the globe. Based on the information provided by United Nations, man-made conflicts are one of the many causes of hunger. People living in war-torn countries struggle for their lives, afraid they will not see the sun for another day, let alone having a full tummy. Furthermore, climate change have destroyed many homes across the globe every year. Food became a form of scarcity for the victims of natural disaster. And for the most obvious reasons of all, poverty. The Central African Republic was ranked the first in Global Hunger Index worldwide. All this due to economical instability, severe corruption, and the civil war. Hunger runs across the globe. However, the majority of hunger victims are located in the African continent. As mentioned earlier, Central African Republic was the most severe place among every other countries. These have deeply affected its neighboring countries such as Nigeria and South Sudan. According to another research carried out by the United Nations, more than 250 million people out of 381 million people suffering from hunger are located in the African continent alone. We certainly cannot turn a blind eye to this worrying issue. How many more lives do we need to lose to hunger? How many more children need to starve every day? While you are feasting, think about the other 690 million people who go to bed with empty stomach.
Hunger is a crucial issue that can lead to devastating effects on human health, physically and mentally. Some of the physical effects of hunger are malnutrition, stunted growth, low birth weights, and in extreme cases, infant and child mortalities. Other than that, constantly worrying where your next meal comes from can cause signs of worry, anxiety, and behavior problems. In addition, hunger would increase the risk of chronic diseases, and this may lead to the job of death in the end. According to the USDA, there is a strong connection between hunger and chronic diseases like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. As time passes, people who suffer from hunger become exhausted and have no help from anyone. If we do not lend a helping hand, who will? Kechara Soup Kitchen, KSK, is a non-religious community action group that contributes foods and lend a helping hand to the homeless and urban poor in Malaysia. It is founded in 2006 by Sam Tunku Rinpoche. Their motto, Hunger Knows No Barriers, are implicating that they will help anyone regardless of their races, religions, and culture. All the volunteers in KSK are from all walks of life. The only goals that connects all of them is to help them by giving basic needs and inspiration instead of charity. Their vision and mission are to provide foods and basic healthcare to the poor in Malaysia to decrease the people suffer from hunger.
Good afternoon, Mr. Justin. Thank you for giving us this opportunity and spending your valuable time with us for this interview. We already introduced ourselves, so I guess we can just start with the first question. So, how did Kechara Soup Kitchen form?
How did Kechara Soup Kitchen form? It was founded by my founder, obviously, His Eminence Sam Rinpoche, who was he was born in Taiwan and then he grew up in America. en route to him becoming a monk, he became a homeless for about 2 weeks in America. So when eventually when his situation got better, then he thought about giving back to the society, uh, giving food to the homeless, because he understood how it felt to be hungry, how it felt to be lonely, how it felt to be vulnerable when you are living a life on the streets. And this is something that he wants to highlight to the public, where homeless people are generally forgotten people. So that's why when he ended up in Malaysia, he was asking a few of his friends to come join him onto the streets and start going around giving food to homeless people.
Question is, what inspired Kejara Soup Kitchen has been doing this all the time?
Well, the inspiration is very simple. It's kindness. I feel it's like when you do something and you see someone else is doing it together and feeling good about it. And the most the most I can get from here is probably the inspiration I get from the founder himself, His Eminence Sam Rinpoche, who showed me how to become a kind person. Well, previously I don't think I am a kind person. I don't think I am even a kind person now. Probably it's just a little bit more kind than previously. I don't do a lot of charities, but these days it's like every day you go and do charity. So the thing that I want to point out is like the inspiration comes from everyone. It's not just one person, but as I come here, I see volunteers coming in. I see people from different background, different color, different creed. They can work together to benefit the society as a whole. This is something that I take very close to my heart.
So how did you ensure people get enough food during the COVID-19 pandemic when it was the national lockdown that happened? So can you just share your thought about that?
National lockdown, how do we go around giving food, is it? If I remember, if I can hear you correctly. Okay. It's supposed to be non-movement. It's supposed to be a movement control, but we got the government papers to allow us to continue our service amid on a smaller scale, due to the concerns of our volunteers getting into trouble, like contracting the COVID-19 virus, and also to adhere to certain SOP, which is, as you might be aware, only 2% of the organization are allowed at one point in one area at a time. So that is something that we would we are looking constantly to protect our volunteers, and at the same time we want to be very sure that everyone is safe. So when we got the papers, we make sure that there's no violation of rules, and we don't even take too many volunteers. And what we did was everyone had to wear their mask, even gloves, and sanitize themselves throughout the sessions and whatnot. So and you don't forget, because the fact that we have lesser people to work, but we ended up helping a lot more families. So the challenge here is very much of a what do you call that, manpower, the worry, as well as the movement control. Those police roadblocks are everywhere, and it kind of like inconvenience everyone, but necessary. Yeah.
Alright. So hi sir. Doing charity is not an easy task, and let alone doing it every day. So I want to ask you, what kind of difficulties do you face while operating on a day-to-day basis?
During COVID or what?
No, on normal days.
Challenges is to get up from the bed. No, it's to make sure that we have enough food for the day, to make sure that we have enough help, and to make sure the recipients who will adhere to our SOPs, they come in with masks. We have to make sure they sanitize their hands. We have to make sure they don't make a huge fuss. We have to make sure our own staff are following the SOPs. Make sure everything is clean. We make sure we update. We make sure we take photos so that we can update, and we make sure we have enough money and food to buy for tomorrow's distribution. So it's a constant worry. It's a constant process where we have to prepare one day in advance at least what are the arrangement and whatnot. Yeah, apart from getting up from the bed.
Alright, is there any more stories? Maybe not from the COVID period?
There's this mother and son case where they have been spending their life living a life on the streets, or basically in McDonald's, somewhere in Kota Damansara area. Okay, And what happened was I was alerted to this case at about 2:30 in the morning because one of my friends who happened to have volunteered with KSK in the past alerted me, and she said there's this two person living in McDonald's, and all they do, they're just lying down on the table on the sitting position. They are not sleeping, sitting. So they're just lying down like that, and then probably would warrant some attention. So when I went there, then I found out that both of them, they not only have homelessness problem, but their homelessness problem is basically very much due to their mental capacity. Not that they are mentally challenged, but they are very much into they are very reserved. They are probably very low self-esteem people, and then they have some psychology issues that they need to address. And when I wanted to approach them, they were not very forthcoming. They were wondering, why am I doing this? And it took me quite a few times of meeting them to win their trust. And I got them into a hotel room for the night and all that. And previously, they've been like loitering around during the day. And the mother himself was having some other health issues like a swollen leg. And we felt that probably there's something more we can do for both of them. So in the end, I raised some funds to help house them in a room for along the way. We have been rendering them some other help apart from some mini counseling and medical help. We have also been giving them some basic food and money to spend. So yeah, that was like quite a number of years ago. So this is some examples so this is some example that I would like to show you to what extent we go to help them.
So Kerja Soup Kitchen has been operating for so many years, and I would like to ask you, where do you see Kerja Soup Kitchen in the next 5?
We will see our operation being expanded to nationwide. Currently, we only have our premises in Penang, Johor, and KL. So we would like to expand to the more probably so-called smaller town like Kota Baru, Kuantan, the Melaccas, the Ipohs, the Serembangs, the Kuchings, the Kota Kinabalu. These are the places that we are aiming to set up branches so that more families or homeless people will be helped. See, there will be. It can mean only one thing. Due to our expansion, more people get help from that.
So, Mr. Justin, this is the last question for the boys group. So,
Okay,
do you think it's possible to achieve zero hunger?
I don't think it will be possible because this is a global issue. We are just a small soup kitchen. But if everyone starts to do something about it, I think there's a possibility we are able to. But just like accidents, will you be able to resolve this issue? Will you be able to prevent accidents from happening? Because it's human related. Will you be able to prevent people from getting sick? It's impossible. So will you be able to address hunger or zero hunger? I don't think we can. But what I'm saying here is we need all people in the world to help to do something for their own community so that we will minimize the chance of someone getting hungry or suffering or die due to hunger. I don't think people will die from hunger these days, but I do not rule out people do suffer from hunger.
Mr. Justin, thank you for taking this time off to attend this interview with us. Obviously, it's an enriching experience for some of us today because some of us may not have been on the field, and it's nice to hear an experienced person that is on the field before the stories that we have heard that you have been serving back to society. So we wish you and the establishment all the best in the future, and thank you again.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah,
thank you. You're nice.
Justin.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
girls.
Justin.
Get the recording from the boys, okay? And make friends.
Right.
Hence, the easiest and most effective way to help them is through donation. This is because all of us could donate money whenever and regardless of the amount, as long as we have the mindset to help them. As a student or teenagers, we could donate a partial part of our pocket money to the charities that tackling against hunger in order to help them and achieve the goal zero hunger. Other than that, we could help to pay in advance for others as a pending meal, which is a free meal for the poor. Nowadays, many restaurants have come up with a pending meal box to let us pay for the poor to help them effectively. So, what are you waiting for? Help them without hesitation. Zero hunger is one of the sustainable goals established by United Nations in 2015. The purpose of this goal is to achieve food security and improve nutrition as well as promoting sustainable agriculture. Therefore, zero hunger is a crucial step to curb or reduce the number of individuals undergoing hunger tremendously.